Lena had always dreamed of speaking English fluently. Growing up in a small town in Nigeria, she felt the world beyond her doorstep was calling, but her confidence held her back. At 23, she watched YouTube videos of people sharing their journeys, imagining herself on that stage one day. When she discovered Desire Academy for spoken English, something inside her sparked. She saw students from all over the globe, India, Brazil, Ukraine, facing the same fear and emerging victorious. Lena felt a surge of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could do it too. On her first day at Desire Academy, Lena entered a bright classroom with large windows and colorful posters. The words believe, speak, and achieve caught her eye. At the front, a smiling teacher named Mr. Carter greeted each student as if they were old friends. He was 35, from Canada, with a warm accent and encouraging eyes. She learned that he had once struggled to speak French in Montreal before finding his own language academy. His story made Lena believe that transformation was possible with the right guidance. Mr. Carter began with a simple icebreaker. He asked each student to stand, say their name, age, and one dream they had. Lena's heart raced. When it was her turn, she rose slowly. My name is Lena. I am 23, and I dream of speaking English confidently so I can work in an international company and travel the world. A hush fell. Then the class erupted in applause. Suddenly, her voice felt a little stronger. In the next session, Desire Academy introduced the Daily Courage Challenge. Each morning, students recorded a 1-minute video speaking about any topic, a favorite dish, a childhood memory, a goal for the day. They posted these on the classroom portal and gave each other feedback. Lena's first video was shaky. She stumbled on simple words like delicious and memorable. But her classmates from Mexico to Russia left kind comments. Great start. Keep going. I love your smile. That support fueled her determination. Week by week, the scripts at Desire Academy grew more powerful. The Academy taught specific speaking scripts, openers for meetings, phrases for small talk, methods to handle nervousness, and techniques to keep conversations flowing. Lena learned the 5-second rule. Before speaking, pause for 5 seconds to gather her thoughts. She practiced the echo technique, repeating keywords from her partner to show active listening. These methods became her toolkit. In her nightly journal, she wrote, "Today I felt braver. I answered a question without fear. My words came out clear and strong." Midway through the course, Desire Academy organized a Global Connect Day. Students paired up virtually with partners from different countries. Lena was matched with Hiroshi, 25, from Japan. Their assignment: discuss their favorite childhood games for 5 minutes in English. Lena talked about playing Ao Alapon under the mango tree. Hiroshi shared memories of kendama at his grandfather's shop. They laughed at mistakes, corrected each other gently, and by the end, spoke as friends. Lena realized that mistakes were merely stepping stones. As Desire Academy progressed, students were encouraged to give mini presentations. Lena chose to speak about her journey to join the academy. On the day of her presentation, her palms sweated. She began, 2 months ago, I watched a YouTube video of Desire Academy students speaking fluently. I felt inspired and scared at once, but I decided to take a leap of faith. With each sentence, she grew more confident. When she finished, tears welled in her eyes as the class cheered. Mr. Carter praised her clarity and emotion, reminding everyone that authenticity was the heart of powerful speaking. Behind every lesson, Desire Academy wove motivational stories. There was the story of Amina from Egypt, 32, who overcame stage fright to deliver a TEDx talk. There was Carlos from Brazil, 29, who used English to launch his travel blog and now had thousands of followers. Lena saw herself in these stories and felt a surge of belief that she could shape her own narrative. The Academy script on turning fear into fuel taught her to view anxiety as energy to propel her forward. In one exciting module, the Academy introduced impromptu power talks. Students drew random topics, favorite animal, a memorable journey, the value of kindness, and had only 30 seconds to prepare. Lena's first topic was butterfly. She hesitated, then spoke about transformation, comparing her own journey to that of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Her words were simple but heartfelt. The class felt her sincerity and applauded. Lena realized that authenticity mattered more than perfection. Outside the classroom, Desire Academy provided a vibrant online community. Lena joined weekend coffee chats, where alumni and current students chatted informally. She met Katarina, 27, from Poland, who is now working as an interpreter in Berlin. Their conversations ranged from favorite English idioms to tips for overcoming homesickness. Lena learned break-the-ice scripts for social situations and practiced them immediately. Each chat built her confidence, reminding her that she was part of a global family. At the end of the 7th week, Desire Academy held a special event, the Voice of Courage contest. Each student had 2 minutes to deliver a motivational speech, using everything they had learned. Lena chose to speak on the power of small steps. She recounted waking up at dawn to practice shadowing videos, repeating phrases aloud until her neighbors kindly banged on the wall, reminding her it was 6 a.m. She laughed at the memory and continued, "Every step, no matter how small, moves us closer to our dreams." Her speech concluded with a standing ovation. The night before the final ceremony, Lena stayed up writing. She crafted a script for her closing speech, using the Academy's Story Emotion Action framework. First the story, her journey from silence to speech. Then the emotion, the fear she faced, and the joy she felt. Finally, the action, a call for each student to speak their truth boldly. She rehearsed in front of her mirror for hours, using the power pose to boost her confidence. When she finally slept, she dreamed of the stage and the bright lights. On the day of graduation, Desire Academy's auditorium buzzed with excitement. Banners displaying the names of each student fluttered. Mr. Carter welcomed everyone and introduced the keynote speaker, an alumnus named Sophia, 28, from Argentina. Sophia spoke eloquently about how Desire Academy had transformed her life. She now hosted a weekly podcast in English, interviewing guests from around the world. Her story was proof that the Academy's scripts and support could lead to real success. When it was Lena's turn, she stepped onto the stage, heart pounding. She took a deep breath, looked at the audience, each face reflecting her own journey, and began her speech. She spoke clearly, her voice steady. "When I walked into this classroom, I was a listener, afraid to speak. Today, I stand before you as a speaker, ready to share my thoughts with the world. She shared her favorite English sentence: "The only way to grow is to step outside your comfort zone." As she spoke, her words flowed effortlessly, filled with the emotion and conviction she had practiced for weeks. After the ceremony, as confetti rained down, Lena hugged her classmates, Hiroshi, Katerina, Amina, Carlos, and Mr. Carter. He placed a hand on her shoulder and said, "This is only the beginning." Lena smiled, tears of joy in her eyes. She felt ready to face any challenge. She knew the scripts and techniques she had learned at Desire Academy would guide her through job interviews, business meetings, and casual chats with strangers. More importantly, she believed in herself. Weeks later, Lena sat in her new office at an international NGO, her nameplate reading Lena Okoro, Communications Coordinator. She remembered the nights she spent practicing tongue twisters, the mornings she hesitated before hitting record on her video, and the doubt she once carried. Now she led meetings, delivered presentations, and mentored new colleagues. Sometimes she caught herself speaking without thinking, her English flowing naturally. In those moments, she smiled, grateful for the journey that began with Desire Academy for Spoken English. Back in Nigeria, Lena's family watched her on a live stream of the Academy's graduation ceremony. They had always believed in her, but now they saw her confidence shining through the screen. Her younger brother, aged 16, told his friends, "My sister speaks like a teacher." Her mother wept tears of pride. Lena realized that her success was not just hers, it was theirs. She had opened a door for her family and her community, showing them that language was not a barrier but a bridge. On her first trip abroad, to attend an international conference in London, Lena felt a flutter of nerves at Heathrow Airport. But as she approached the information desk and spoke clearly to the attendant, her voice echoed with confidence. She thought of the scripts she had memorized, the impromptu talks she had given, and the supportive community she had found at Desire Academy. She knew that every English sentence she spoke was a step toward a bigger dream. That evening, as the sun set over the Thames, Lena recorded a short video for her YouTube channel. She spoke directly to her audience. If you ever feel afraid to speak, remember that every expert was once a beginner. Join Desire Academy for Spoken English. Follow their powerful scripts and build your confidence one sentence at a time. She smiled brightly into the camera and clicked upload. As notifications began to pop up, likes, comments, shares, Lena felt the same spark of hope she had felt on day one. Lena's London conference was just the beginning. In the months that followed, she seized every opportunity to speak. A publisher invited her to participate in a panel on women empowerment through language in Dubai, where she shared how Desire Academy's Story Emotion Action framework had transformed her confidence. She described her nervousness stepping onto that London stage, then detailed how she used the power pose and 5-second pause to steady herself. The audience, mostly non-native English speakers, leaned forward as she spoke, nodding in recognition. When she finished, the applause was thunderous, and several attendees approached her afterward to ask about the Academy's courses. Returning to Nigeria with renewed purpose, Lena decided to give back. She approached her local community center in Lagos and proposed a free weekend workshop for aspiring English speakers. With the center's support, she organized Speak Lagos, a 2-day event modeled on Desire Academy's key modules: icebreakers, daily courage challenges, impromptu talks, and mini presentations. She recruited graduates from Desire Academy, Hiroshi, Katarina, and Amina, to co-facilitate sessions via video link. On the Saturday morning of the workshop, the room buzzed with excitement as 50 participants aged 18 to 40 stood in a circle, shy smiles on their faces. Lena began with the 5-second rule, inviting everyone to pause before speaking. She shared her own first shaky recordings and encouraged participants to embrace imperfection. Then she led them through the echo technique in pairs: listen, repeat, and ask a follow-up question. By lunchtime, laughter filled the room as students corrected tongue twisters and recounted childhood games in broken but enthusiastic English. Lena watched with pride, recognizing in their eyes the same determination she once held. In the afternoon, she introduced the Global Stories segment. Participants were assigned a country at random. Some drew Brazil, others Ukraine or Japan, and had 10 minutes to research simple facts online, then present a 1-minute summary. When it was time to speak, they described national dishes, famous landmarks, or cultural festivals using the scripts Lena provided. Their accents varied, and they stumbled over words, but each presentation brimmed with enthusiasm. Lena clapped loudly after each one, shouting "brilliant" and "fantastic use of English." At the end of the day, participants hugged Lena and thanked her for giving them the courage to use their voices. While the workshop was a local success, Lena knew she wanted to scale her impact. She proposed an online course, Desire Academy X Lagos Edition, to the Academy's headquarters. The Academy's founders loved the idea and agreed to co-brand the course. Working closely with the curriculum team, Lena helped design 5 modules that combine Desire Academy's best scripts with local Nigerian contexts, talking about Nollywood films, discussing regional cuisines like jollof rice, and interviewing each other about weekend plans. They recorded video lessons in both English and Yoruba to guide beginners gently into English usage. 3 months later, the course launched on Desire Academy's platform, reaching students from Ghana, Kenya, and even as far as South Korea and Peru. Feedback poured in. One student from Kenya wrote, "I never thought I'd talk about ukulele in English, but your modules made it fun." Another from Peru said, "The Nigerian examples are so vibrant. They make me feel connected to a real culture." Lena monitored the discussion forums daily, answering questions, offering encouragement, and sharing anecdotes from her own journey. The course enrollment grew to several hundred students within its first quarter, and Desire Academy named Lena Regional Ambassador for West Africa. Meanwhile, Desire Academy invited her to serve as a guest instructor for their flagship program. For 2 weeks each quarter, she joined the live virtual classes, teaching sessions on cultural storytelling and building vocabulary through personal narratives. She helped students craft stories about their hometowns, weaving in local proverbs and idioms, and showed them how to adapt those into engaging English scripts. Her favorite session was Proverbial Wisdom, where students from different countries exchanged their cultural sayings. When the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. Nigerian, fall 7 times, stand up 8 Japanese. Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. English, then practiced explaining their meanings in English. The diversity of perspectives enriched every conversation, and Lena felt proud to facilitate such cross-cultural exchange. Back in Lagos, Lena's work earned her invitations to speak on local TV and radio. On the morning show Rise and Shine Lagos, she demonstrated quick confidence hacks, posture shifts, breath control, and positive self-talk for callers nervous about job interviews. She used the studio's green room to film an impromptu 1-minute video, later posting it on her own YouTube channel. The video went viral locally, garnering thousands of views and comments like, "Lena saved my interview," and "I wish I had known these hacks before my exam." Encouraged by this response, she launched a weekly live stream, English Power Hour, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Lagos time. Viewers tuned in from across West Africa to practice their English with Lena, ask questions, and receive real-time feedback. As her influence grew, Lena remained committed to her original vision, empowering non-native speakers through practical scripts and heartfelt stories. She co-authored an ebook with Desire Academy titled Speak Your Truth, 50 Scripts to Ignite Your English Confidence. The book combined concise script templates, openers, closers, empathetic phrases, small talk questions, with Lena's personal anecdotes, illustrations, and motivational challenges. It included QR codes linking to demonstration videos. When the ebook launched, it shot to the top of the platform's resources list, and dozens of users sent thank you notes describing how the scripts had helped them land jobs, make friends, and even propose to their partners in perfect English. Through it all, Lena never forgot her first classroom at Desire Academy, the walls lined with motivational posters, the first applause she received, the tears she shed on graduation day. She continued recording her daily courage challenge videos, now on a personal channel with over 100,000 subscribers. Each morning, she spoke for 2 minutes about a word of the day, resilience, empathy, innovation, and challenged her audience to use it in a conversation that day. Her authenticity shone through. She sometimes stumbled, laughed at herself, and reminded viewers that even she, a communications coordinator, continued to learn and grow. 1 year after graduating, Desire Academy celebrated Lena's journey at their annual summit in Berlin. As the keynote speaker, she walked onto a grand stage with thousands of students and alumni in the audience. She wore a bright Ankara dress paired with a tailored blazer, symbolizing her Nigerian roots and her global reach. She spoke about her Lagos workshop, her online courses, her ebook, and her vision for a world where language no longer divided but connected. She invited several of her former classmates, Hiroshi, Katerina, Amina, Carlos, to the stage with her. Together, they led a live Global Stories session, drawing audience members into pairs and prompting them to share in English. The energy was electric, laughter, applause, and the sound of dozens of languages blending into English. After her speech, students swarmed to thank her, share their own stories, and ask for advice. A young woman from Egypt said Lena's script on showing gratitude in interviews had helped her secure a scholarship in the UK. A student from Brazil said that the proverbial wisdom session had inspired him to write his own blog post series. Lena walked off the stage feeling humbled and exhilarated. She realized that her journey, which began in that small Nigerian town, had come full circle, from learner to mentor, from student to leader, from afraid to fearless. Back in Lagos, Lena reflected on the past 3 years. She sat at her favorite cafe beside the lagoon, sipping zobo tea and jotting notes in her leather journal. She was planning her next project, a mobile app that would pair learners for 15-minute courage chats based on shared interests, books, music, sports, and guide them with built-in speaking scripts and pronunciation tips. She envisioned the app integrating voice recognition to provide real-time feedback on fluency and intonation. This time, she wasn't building alone. She had a team of developers, designers, and English coaches she'd met along the way. As the sun dipped below the water, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Lena tapped out her final note. Every voice matters. Every story inspires. Let's keep speaking. She closed her journal, smiled, and knew that more adventures awaited, more workshops to host, more students to inspire, more bridges to build through language. On her laptop, a new email notification blinked. An invitation from a university in Canada to co-teach a semester-long course on global communication and cultural exchange. Lena leaned back in her chair and typed a quick reply, "Count me in." She paused for a moment, recalling her very first introduction at Desire Academy. "My name is Lena. I am 23, and I dream of speaking English confidently so I can work in an international company and travel the world." Now, at 26, she had already traveled the world, built a global community, and transformed hundreds of lives. Yet her dream had only grown bigger. Her journey was far from over. But now, with Desire Academy's lessons in her heart and her voice stronger than ever, Lena was ready to share her story with the world, one English sentence at a time.